If you're ever making a long road trip and it involves driving at night and somebody behind you starts flashing their lights or honking their horn, don't worry about if your car might have an issue or you have a taillight out. Just keep on driving till you get to a well-lit area to where you can check yourself. Back in 2000, a woman that everyone called Liz was driving back from Colorado after visiting her mother. And while she was driving along this long stretch of highway that was really dark because there was the lack of light and there was no moon out that night, behind her, she noticed that there was a semi coming up on her, and it was flashing its lights and honking. She thought, maybe, I have something tied up in the back. Maybe it came loose. Maybe I got a tail light out. Maybe I should pull over and see what's going on. She would pull off on a rest stop, and while she got out of her car, she noticed that semi was still behind her, still honking, and still flashing his lights while she was looking at her car. She decided to get back in her car and speed off and lose this semi. She wasn't able to lose semi, and he would follow her for the next 45 miles when she took the first exit that she saw. And off this exit, there was a well-lit grocery store with a laundromat next to it. And there happened to be an ambulance in this parking lot. She decided to pull up next to the ambulance because she knew if there was an ambulance, maybe the cops would show up. After about an hour, the man in the truck that had been watching her very intently, even though she was sitting right next to an ambulance, would eventually grow tired of it, and he would leave himself. The cop never did show up. She would end up finishing her drive and return to Arizona safely, but it was 5 or 6 years later when she discovered a pretty terrifying truth about who it was that was following her. She would learn from a TV show she was watching that on that exact stretch of highway in the exact same color of the truck, which was red, there was somebody who was using those tactics of flashing their lights and honking their horn behind people to get them to pull over so he could murder them.